And what we've been able to do is to show to them that there's a whole lot of revenue, there's a whole lot of innovation that if we work together, we can unlock a lot of revenue for they themselves, the universities, and a lot of ease for their stakeholders, graduates, lecturers, and I mean, for instance, it takes forever to get a transcript, even as of today. Like, why? Why should it take forever? The technology is there, the data is available, we just need to be able to work together. So the biggest challenge has always been that being able to work with universities in a way that technology would be the solution end to end.
One of the company's greatest milestones came on the global stage. Akawe's effort to bridge the gap in document verification earned them recognition at a prestigious event in the States, where they were celebrated for their innovative approach to a global problem.
I would say when we were invited to pitch at TechCrunch Startup Battlefield in the USA, it was 2023. You know, we had applied for the program in around April, and I promptly forgot about it, you know. And then in August, I got an email to say, hooray, you're welcome. We're inviting you to the US to come and pitch your startup on a global stage. And that was a great milestone because for Akawe to have been chosen out of about 3,000 global applications, and they chose only 200, that was a great morale booster that, okay, we're solving something really global here. And TechCrunch, and if you know TechCrunch is a global brand, right? You know, so that was validation for us. And that also helped us to realize that it was not a Nigerian problem, because standing on the stage in San Francisco, talking to a global audience about the problem you're solving from Nigeria, you had to find a way to make them relate to it. And there was a great aha moment where people realized that I'm from India, I have the same problem. I'm from Pakistan, I have the same problem. You know, so that was a great moment for us to actually see that, okay, we are onto something here.
On the African front, Akawe has established a partnership with a company in Kenya, marking the beginning of its expansion across the continent. This collaboration underscores the app's mission to make the world a better place, one credential at a time.
Absolutely. So we have a partnership right now where that partner already sells credential verification in Kenya. And once that partnership has been finalized, it means that Akawe will be able to provide credential verification for Kenyans. So if you are a Nigerian trying to hire a Kenyan, you'll be able to come on our platform and verify that Kenyan based off of that partnership that we have. And it's a two-way thing. So that partner also will be able to access all of the records that we have in West Africa to be able to sell. So collaborations like that help us scale very quick. And this is not just a problem we're trying to solve for Nigeria alone. So think about West Africa, East Africa. The problem exists across sub-Saharan Africa, basically, and many parts of the world as well that are not on the African continent. So we want to make sure we focus on the first iteration. If it's good enough and people like it and people seem to find value in it, I think it then begins easily scale. Okay. Earlier we talked about the Benin Republic and the issues that are happening there. We are in conversations with companies in Benin Republic where we're trying to say, this is our solution. We want to bring it into the country and actually help solve that problem. You know, so already we see that the problems exist, and with digital technologies, you know, you can scale and solve those problems at scale. But you have to get it right. And once you get it right, it's easily replicable, you know, across countries.
Looking to the future, Akawe has bigger plans. The team is exploring opportunities to extend their services to secondary schools, focusing on reducing the alarming rate of fake results in WAEC and JAMB. This move will revolutionize the education system and provide a foundation for a more transparent academic process. Welcome back. Now, global financial services often present daunting challenges for businesses in emerging markets, from arbitrary compliance thresholds to perceived risks and sudden service disruptions. Now, businesses frequently face obstacles that hinder their ability to scale and grow. Today, we turn our focus to a company revolutionizing cross-border payments and financial accessibility. Let's dive into the story of Waza and its groundbreaking platform, Link.
Waza is the B2B payments platform for emerging market businesses. We're helping businesses to make global payments, or I would say, to source FX liquidity to pay their suppliers and vendors globally. We've recently launched a product called Link, which is infusing this great FX liquidity product that we offer customers in a banking experience, right? And so our customers now have better control over their money, and they can make payments globally from a dashboard. They can access FX liquidity, get great rate, access different payment methods. I'm Maxwell Obi. I'm the CEO of Waza.
Registered in the United States as a money service business, Waza specializes in foreign exchange and money transmission. Since the launch and start in January 2023, the company has partnered with financial powerhouses like Visa and Currency Cloud to deliver payment services and account issuance. In just 1 year, Waza has served hundreds of businesses, processing an impressive $700 million in annualized payment volume while facilitating payments across 6 continents.
Waza is the B2B payments platform for emerging market businesses. We're helping businesses to make global payments, or I would say, to source FX liquidity to pay their suppliers and vendors globally. We've recently launched a product called Link, which is infusing this great FX liquidity product that we offer customers in a banking experience, right? And so our customers now have better control over their money, and they can make payments globally from a dashboard. They can access FX liquidity, get great rate, access different payment methods.
But Waza is not stopping there. To address the unique challenges faced by businesses in emerging markets, Waza recently introduced a new product called Link. Designed as a viable alternative to existing financial solutions, Link offers multi-currency. These accounts enable payments to more than 100 countries and are equipped with robust features that extend beyond traditional wallets.
There's a big void that Link is feeling in the market, because traditional banks haven't been able to cater to the needs of these businesses over time. They have an outsized perception of risks for businesses that operate in higher risk jurisdictions like emerging markets in Africa, Southeast Asia, etc. And so we decided to plug that gap by launching Link, which is, it's not a different brand, but it's a different product under the same brand, right? And so it's still solving B2B payments from the perspective of FX and now banks. Small businesses, startups, other financial institutions, corporates, even large organizations can use Link. I would say if you have a need to operate in the global market, or you have a need for international banking, and you're operating in an emerging market, automatically you will be perceived as high risk, and we are the alternative, we are the go-to for you. So that's our target, right? And that's from a customer segmentation standpoint. If you take a wider scan from a market perspective, we want to look at markets that have a lot of cross-border activity and a lot of buzzing startup ecosystem, right, or startup activity. Even as we target corporates and large multinationals, right, or even if large corporates and enterprises are part of the customer segment, they are not our sole target. We know that startups are also super affected. So we want them to also bank on Link. We want them to come get their multi-currency accounts, do exchange, and just use us as a de facto banking platform to make payments to their vendors and suppliers globally.
What sets Link apart is its comprehensive payment support. This ensures businesses with operations across the globe, which can efficiently manage their payments and focus exchange liquidity on a single platform.
Most people that have tried to provide multi-currency platforms approach it from a mature market mindset. We're taking a very localized approach, paying attention to emerging market businesses that cannot access international banking services. Like, I mean, if you take a quick look at what happened last year, banks like Mercury, fintech banks or other financial institutions like Mercury, SVB, Silicon Valley Bank began to shut down businesses that have either directors or UBOs in emerging markets that deem high risks, right? So it's not, we on the other hand have provided this service with a keen eye for streamlining compliance processes, speed and cost, right? If you can bank with these guys, you can bank with us. And not only have we streamlined that compliance process for you, we can now you can deliver your payments very fast within the same day. FX, yes, is a great value prop there, but it is not the entire thing. Transaction fees, we don't charge a monthly transaction fee, it's really cheap. Eventually, as we launch more features and evolve the product, there will be more customer segments unlocked, right? We're thinking about building APIs that will cater to other financial institutions that want to build on top of our infrastructure. And when we think about B2B payments, which is our core focus, it's usually happening in the context of trade. And trade can be seen as an ecosystem. There's a supply side, there's a demand side. So there are other things we will launch that will also cater to suppliers in different jurisdictions and unlock new customer segments. But today, businesses, importers, exporters, corporates, startups would be our ideal customer target.
Importantly, Waza clarifies that it is not a bank. Instead, the company partners with banks that adhere to strict rules and regulations in each country of operation. This strategic approach ensures compliance while maintaining flexibility and innovation.
First, Waza or Link is not a bank, we're a technology company. And so all of these services are provided in partnership with licensed financial institutions. So we've been able to build on top, I would say, really strict compliance protocols and whatever other value services that they can offer. Today, we're making great progress we want to launch interest on deposits, financing. These are all value-added services that makes us stand out, right? So it's not just, yes, we're going to give you faster payments, cheaper payments, a streamlined compliance approach so you can actually bank with us if you can get access to the US banking infrastructure. But also, eventually, we're going to launch other features to cater to all your needs for you to actually operate competitively in the global financial market.
Speaking about the operation in Nigeria, Maxwell Obi, the Waza CEO and co-founder, emphasized the adaptive approach to navigating local policies, highlighting Waza's commitment to supporting businesses in emerging markets.
First and foremost, we pay really keen attention to security, trust, compliance. We don't joke with these things. It's top priority for us. I think I would also reemphasize that we are not a bank. We are a technology company that is building on top the services and licensing of banking partners that have strict adherence to AML, CTF, and other regulatory requirements, right? But beyond that, if you take a look at the banking side of things, these guys are already complying with all of these regulations, right? They're complying with the central bank regulations, the BSA Act in the US, and other regulatory bodies. So from a banking standpoint, there is that compliance aspect and trust and security. From a technology standpoint, we've also tried to pay attention to global standards in terms of building the product. So we've implemented bank-grade encryption, security protocols, and we also pay strict attention to KYC and KYB regulations. And we also licensed, right? We're registered as an MSB with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network of the US. We're also licensed by the central bank as an IMTO. So while that regulation or directive is in place, yeah, we pay attention to it and we try to operate together with our banking partners within the frameworks of the regulators.
Despite being incorporated and operational in the US, UK, and EU, Waza has identified a significant challenge for businesses with ties to emerging market. These barriers often lead to service discontinuation, uncompleted transactions, and disrupted trade flows, resulting in substantial financial losses and hampering business growth. Link was developed to address these critical issues. The platform's extensive payment capabilities and competitive FX rate ensures businesses can manage their finances efficiently while also scaling globally. And that's how we have on today's episode on Startups. I'm Tamilore Akinkolie. See you again next time.
Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Simisola Adigun. There's widespread condemnation for the brutal killing of 16 hunters from Kano State by a vigilante group at Uromi, Edo State. According to reports, the 16 hunters were among 25 travelers on their way to Kano State for the Eid al-Fitr celebrations who were intercepted by the vigilante on the suspicion that they were kidnappers and were lynched to death. Governor Monday Okwebolo of Edo State has now pledged that swift justice will be served for the 16 slain hunters. Okwebolo made the pledge when he paid a condolence visit to the bereaved families at Torankawa in Kano State in company of Governor Abba Yusuf. While expressing deep sorrow over the tragic incident, Okwebolo said the government will not relent until justice is served, adding that 14 people have been arrested and moved to Abuja for interrogation. Currently, police, military and plainclothes security agents have taken over strategic junctions in Uromi to stave off reprisals. Joining me to discuss more on this is a former Assistant Director at the Department of State Services, Mr. Dennis Amakri. Thank you very much for coming on the program. Now, judging from what has played out ever since, what do you make of this unfortunate incident? I mean, vigilante groups are not new in Nigerian communities, and they've no doubt been helpful over the years.
Okay, thank you very much for having me. You see, we have to look at the root causes, because these things will continue happening. You know, it will not be the last time. And if we don't look at the root causes and take care of those root causes, then they will continue happening. Now, what do I mean? We've had these killings all over the place. You know, we have these killings, and it is because of these killings that you have vigilante groups, even like Amotekun. You know, and these groups have been you know, taking care of some of the bushes, the forests, the ungoverned spaces that we have. But we have to regulate it properly. You know, regulate it in the sense that these vigilante groups should be reporting to a formal law enforcement agency. You know, they cannot operate on their own. And when they start operating on their own, then of course they go descend all the way down to jungle justice and other kinds of things that are happening. So I think there is work to be done about this particular issue.
Now, the government has repeatedly called on local vigilante groups and hunters to step in to fill security gaps in the fight against bandits and terrorists in Nigeria. However, the Edo State governor described these vigilante groups as illegal. Now, what makes a vigilante group legal, and how should, well, you've mentioned that they should report to higher authority, but then what's the process like in seeing that these vigilante groups are legal?
Well, I'm so surprised about for the governor because this is not the first time, this is not the right time for him to come and say that that vigilante group is illegal or this one is legal. Vigilante groups have been existing for long. And you know, if you think very seriously about it, vigilante groups were formed basically to protect the communities, because we've had history of herdsmen going and killing in the bush. And the best thing is that, you know, these communities should start to, you know, take care of themselves, you know, and it has continued like that. And of course, this self-help program has been, you know, giving birth to different kinds of vigilante groups. Like you hear of the Amotekun and all the rest of in the western states and everywhere. Most states have their own vigilante groups that they use. Now, which one is legal and which one is not legal, I don't know. But they should have even legalized, or should I say register them before anything like this come to happen. But if you don't, until when something like this happens, then you come and say they are illegal or not illegal, I think it's just begging the question. Because the root causes, like I said, is for the people to protect themselves, and there has been a lot of killings. And I don't know whether those killings have been fully addressed.
Now, this incident brings to mind similar ones where people have taken the law into their own hands and commit these condemnable acts of jungle justice. We understand that activities of kidnappers in the area might have triggered the action, like, you know, it has been told in times past. How significant is this particular incident in highlighting the dangers of mob actions or jungle justice, as the case may be, in Nigeria?
Well, you know that people have been pushed to the corner, whereby they are really worried about their own security. And of course, for people to now come back and say, hey, let us get a vigilante group, you know. And these vigilantes are actually working. They don't, you know, they stay up at night. They go into the bushes and, you know, they come across some of these people. This is not the first time vigilantes have been arresting, you know, people marauding in the forest and stuff like that. And of course, you find out that a lot of killings, especially around Uromi area, you know, a lot of killings are taking place. And that's why I think the governor himself should go back and look at it, talk to the security agencies and find out, you know, what has happened about those killings that happened in Uromi before, you know, because they've been doing these killings and people are just crying. And I'm surprised that this time everybody is taking it so seriously. This is what should have happened all the time when people are being killed. So I think we regulate the process, the procedures or the processes of these people. Let them not descend to jungle justice, because some people are so angry losing their family members and they feel that, look, this is the right time to, there's no need to go and call police or anything like that. Let's just finish it up. But that's not how it should be.
Right. Now, response mechanisms in the country have also always been a matter of concern. The response of the police in matters like this, from details provided, there was enough time for the police to storm the scene and control or prevent further harm, but nothing of such happened.
Well, that is, you know, the problem with the police. Because for a place like Uromi, there's a DPO. That's a DPO. How can he say that something like, and that's what I'm saying, that there's a disconnect between the vigilante groups and the police. Because if there's a connection or a reporting line, when they find these police, arrest them, and they've even discovered arms and ammunition with them, the next person to call is the DPO. And the DPO will quickly send his men down there. And then, of course, remove all these people for better interrogation on what they are doing, where they are going, why they are carrying those kind of arms. But there is nothing like that. And apparently I can tell you that maybe the people don't even trust that distrust between the community people and the police must have caused a situation whereby they will say, don't even think about him. Let's do what we have to do. And they went ahead and do this. So I think the police should start taking charge of their area and make sure that these kind of things don't happen.
All right. Mr. Makri, we'll continue this conversation after this break. Do stay with us. The program will continue shortly.
Hello, Alhaji. It's right now in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I'll just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet there. Who told you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country. In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other Paper Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. We're still discussing the killing of 16 hunters in Uromi, Edo State. And my guest is still the former Assistant Director at the DSS, Dennis Amakri. Thank you very much, sir, for staying with us. Now, so far, Governor Kwebolo of Edo State has suspended the head of the Edo State Security Corps. But then, do state governments have the capacity to handle these various security groups and security initiatives as well, so that their duties are defined?
For state police, and when the state police comes, the state governors are supposed to be the ones that are going to supervise the operations of these state police. And I think that, in fact, all these vigilante